Hello everyone, welcome to Math Q&A. Today we are going to be looking at arithmetic sequences. The first question is, what is an arithmetic sequence? In fact, the first question is, what is a sequence? So a sequence is a list, let me rather say a number sequence. So a number sequence is a list of numbers that are linked by a specific rule. I'm going to give an example for what I'm saying right now. Let's say we've got 1, we've got 3, we've got 5, we've got 7, we've got 9. You can probably see what is actually happening here. I have 1 initially. So as I go to the second number, there is a specific rule that I follow. And my rule in this instance, I wasn't thinking of, I wasn't thinking of any mathematical thing. I was just thinking of numbers generally. And I was like, okay, well, from 1, let me add 2 for every consecutive number that I actually have. So I have 1, I add 2. I go to 3, I add 2. I have 5, I add 2. I have 7, I add 2. I have 9. So I define my own rule, which is adding 2 on every one of these numbers we go to the second number. So we can see now that we actually have a specific rule which we have followed, which means this thing is a sequence. If I have 1, I have -5, I have 7, I have 100. Well, this might also be a sequence, but I think that the rule is now more complex, or it might not be mathematically definable in a nice mathematical way. So this in our case will be like, okay, this is not a sequence because it doesn't follow any rule. It's just random numbers. Okay, let's continue. Now, what is an arithmetic sequence? First of all, just to define arithmetic means linear. And the reason why it's called linear is because it's derived from a line graph. So now, let's talk about this. Why is it called arithmetic? So, let's start, let's make a drawing of a line graph here. And just draw a line going up like that. So on this line, you can see that, okay, well, let me rather say this line is straight, of course, as you can see it. So as x goes to infinity, as x goes up, like in that direction, we can see that y goes up, of course. At this point, we are quite aware that, well, we can actually do something interesting. At every point, and like on the x-axis, I can say, well, here I have 0, I have 1, I've got 2, I've got 3. On this line, I know that this maps to specific points. And because of how I drew this line, let's not talk about anything deep right now. Let's just define what a sequence is, like I've already done that. So if you look at this line, you can see that, well, I've already said that it's a linear sequence, meaning I've defined a rule already. By me saying linear, I'm defining a rule. We know that for anything linear, we add a specific value to the previous value to get a specific value. I'll prove that in the next coming video. Currently, you can see that, well, at x is equal to 0, I have a value in the y. At 1 is equal to that. At 2, I've got, at 3, I've got values just like that. So as I increment by 1 every time, I'm going a step up. This is a sequence, and every sequence that looks like this is called arithmetic. Let's become a little bit more a little bit more relevant to this course. Well, an arithmetic sequence in its general form is defined as a mathematical sequence where the difference between the consecutive numbers is the same. Now, let's go back to our first example. If I've got 2, okay, let's say if I've got 2, I've got 4, I've got 6, I've got 8, going all the way to infinity. If I take the second number and I minus the previous number, let's say 4 minus 2, 6 minus 4, 8 minus 6. I say 4 minus 2, I get a 2. 6 minus 4, I get a 2. 8 minus 6, I get a 2. Well, if you go to the third value or the second value, now you already kind of have a feel that this thing is gonna is gonna be the same as you go all the way to infinity. That means you're gonna be adding 2 to each and every number to get the next value. Okay. So this means that even if I haven't told you, but you can actually get a feel that even if maybe I'm at 100 and I say, where's the next value? Because you know how much you're adding, you will simply say, well, 102, 104, because you know how this thing works. This is what an arithmetic sequence is. Numbers that when you take the difference of the following number, subtracting the previous number, you get the same value here. Thank you.